This program is powered by Competition 102 and Acres BMW and Mini.
The hills of Austria are alive, not with the sound of music, but the sound of racing engines at the historic circuit of Spielberg. With its jaw-dropping scenery, it lives on in its current reincarnation as the Red Bull Ring. The brand new KTM Crossbows return home after an excellent debut in the Dutch dunes at Zandvoort, but they'll need to be on their guard because their rivals will be hell-bent on revenge. Welcome to the third round of the GT4 European Series.
This week we welcome some new drivers in the Competition 102 GT4 European Series. We get to know more about Rob Savers, racing driver and car salesman. And of course 2 spectacular races at the Red Bull Ring. But first, the news. Sofia Car Motorsport has retained José Luis Taloman, but there is a new name in that car. Marcus Siebert, also from Argentina.
Normally I race in the Formula 4 Championship, Italian Championship, so a bit experience, but never I drove one car of this one. So it's very strange for me. The first lap I feel very, very strange. Also I feel I go very slow because it's different, you know, in one car like this. But okay, I'm learning. José Luis gives me some tips and it's very good. I like the car, so maybe it's possible to do a good race.
This weekend, Sofia Car Motorsport's team owner Rosen Daskalov will take on a new role as driver of one of his Sin cars. The Bulgarian will share the driving duties with Henrik Still. So far, the German has been the sole driver in the yellow car. Like Henrik Still, Porsche driver Thomas Krebs will share his car this weekend with a new teammate. So far, Carsten Struwe is very impressed with every aspect of the Competition 102 European Series. My first impression is very good, and I think that the field is very evenly matched as far as the cars are concerned, because of the organization that keeps a very close eye on the balance of performance. There's a little bit more difference in the drivers. Duncan Huisman is a true professional, and there are 2 or 3 other drivers at that level. But nevertheless, there are no real amateurs on the track, which is great. At Zandvoort, Marcus Clutton was the sole driver in the brand new Chevron GT4. At the Spielberg track, he will be accompanied by his compatriot Wayne Schofield. The duo will compete in the Pro category. At the previous race in the Dutch dunes of Zandvoort, the KTMs won the race with a huge margin. To bring the field closer together, the organisation has decided to do a balance of performance before the race weekend in the Austrian Alps.
We have 4 new cars in the championship, and unfortunately we didn't find the time to do a proper BOP test. So we decided for the KTM, the Porsche, the Chevron and the Sin car to do BOP tests in Zandvoort.
The news that Lisette Brahms has to miss the rest of the season after being diagnosed with cancer has made a deep impact in the GT4 paddock. All the drivers have given their support by writing a personal message to her. And apart from these get well cards, also some of the cars carried a message of support. And everyone involved in the championship wishes her well with her battle against cancer. Get well soon, Lisette!
It's all for Lisette!
Ready for the start of race 1 at the Red Bull Ring, the 5th round of the championship, and after nearly winning on his debut in Zandvoort, pole goes to Peter Ebner in the KTM, and it's an all KTM front row because Daniel Uckerman, who did win race 2 at Zandvoort, starts on the outside of the front row. And the rest of the field, well, they are led by the BMW of Oscar Kruger. The Swede shares with compatriot Thomas Martinsson in Martinsson's BMW. Great qualifying run from them. Perfect conditions here at the Red Bull Ring. Here we go, rushing up to the start. Rolling start as ever for round 5 of the championship. Lights are on early. KTM trying to defend for pole position. That's the yellow car, Peter Ebner. Round the outside comes the Camaro, and Jörg Wiebahn with a great run in the Aston Martin. He's going to make it 3 wide, but he's on the outside. He's bound to fall out a bit. He goes out very wide. KTM also running wide, but hangs on in the lead just. Camaro and Aston Martin tied for second place. The Camaro furthest from the Aston tucks in behind the KTM. They sweep left here, then a right-hand hairpin. They'll be down into first gear as the KTM turns in front. Around the outside, Jörg Wiebahn. Marcel Nuren keeps the Camaro on track, but Wiebahn uses all that tarmac runoff area to build speed and into second place. On board with Arno Klassen following the KTM BMW battle in front. Down into the hairpin. Oh, turned around, I think, from behind. That sounded like contact. Well, he spins around and is... Let's take a look in replay. The Porsche, yeah, tagged from behind by the yellow Sin R1. No damage done, though. Just time lost. There's the KTM, the race leader. Jörg Wiebahn in second. Marcel Nuren in third place. BMW right behind of Oscar Krüger. Everybody else now streaming around this fast Austrian circuit. Down into the hairpin once more. Up the inside comes the Camaro. Change for second place. Marcel Nuren. Out wide goes Jörg Wiebahn. Can't quite keep the momentum up though. Right behind him is Oscar Krüger in the black car. There's the two Sins. Little driver lineup. Jose Louis Talleman with Rosen Daskalov in front of him in the yellow car. Daskalov, the Bulgarian. The Argentine battling hard. Two Sin R1s. Little private race at the moment. Don't have the same driver lineup in the cars at any of the 3 race weekends this year. So it's going to be difficult for the team to find the consistency they need. Camaro of Luke Brahms. Inside Rob Savers BMW at the first corner. And hefty contact there with the number 8 Icarus car. Looks like Savers is stuck on board with Savers. Braking, turning in. Brace for impact. Hit by the back of the Camaro. That wasn't great judgment there, I'm afraid, by Luke Brahms. Went in very late, very deep, on board. Oh, he's trying to avoid contact, isn't he? Diving to the inside. Cutting over the curbs, but still a big hit. Sorry, he says. A bit too late. Again, straight across those curbs. Couldn't really turn any more. He went in too late there. Luke Brahms now behind number 1. That's the 9th place car of Bernhard van der Randje. The BMW with lots of grass in that big, wide, lower grille at the front of the car. Camaro all over the back of him, trying to recover after that incident. Looks up the inside and squeezes through. This time no contact. On board with Bernhard. Over the runoff area, big handful of opposite lock. Lots of grass cutting. The team might well see the temperature starting to rise on that BMW. In fact, he's already lost 3 places now, so maybe that started already. His teammate watching from the pit lane. Ricardo van der Ende. In comes Luke Brahms, drive-through penalty. That's for clattering Rob Savers off. I'm afraid that was always going to be coming. That'll drop him right back down the end. Ebner in the KTM leading. Battle behind him now for second place is Jelle Belen with Jörg Wiebahn and Oscar Krüger. There is Belen in the Camaro. Jörg Wiebahn, the Aston Martin. Oscar Krüger, this Swiss-driven BMW, really looking very strong here. Mandatory pit stops. Bernhard van der Randje comes to a halt. Luke Brahms is in as well, clearing the grass out of the radiators before Ricardo van der Ende gets in. Bit of tape on the door. Cosmetic, didn't look like the door was coming loose, but they don't want to take any chances. They've already had 1 pit lane penalty, don't want another. Here comes our race leader then. Peter Ebner in from the lead. No dramas this time. It was a late pit stop under yellows at Zandvoort that cost them victory. Out comes the yellow KTM. They've changed over Sasha Halleck in the pits. And the yellow car, that's the Sin of Rosen Daskalov. Rejoining now, restarting on the pit lane. Battle here, Pavel Lefterov in the black car, the Lotus inside Marcos Ziba from Argentina in the green Sin R1. Right behind, Dietmar Lackinger, and as those two have diced, here comes Lackinger in the BMW. Should have the power on the straight to get up the inside of the Lotus. He does. Lotus will try and cut back into the braking area. He does. He's at the apex first. Lackinger might have been ahead on the straight, but he's behind as they exit the corner, uses all the runoff and goes grass cutting a little bit like Van Oranje did earlier on. Problems in the pit lane though for Thomas Martinsson. He took over from Oscar Kruger, the BMW. Mechanical woes, they're out of race one. Disappointment for them, battling for a podium on their debut. Ricardo van der Ende battling with Dietmar Lackinger, the two BMWs. Van der Ende from behind. Looks to the inside, Lackinger locks up a little, gets in a little wide. Van der Ende keeps the tight line on the long double left and through he goes. There's the experience of the multiple champion Ricardo van der Ende. Dietmar Lackinger just couldn't hold the line under that pressure. As the BMW battles continue, Sascha Halleck still leading the race in the KTM. He's got a handy advantage over Jörg Wiebahn in the Aston Martin, and Jelle Belen now in the 69 Camaro, closing down in the battle for second place. These are our podium finishers at the moment. Big V8 Camaro using the power down the straight, but of course big V8 in the Aston Martin as well. Down the pit straight, up to the first corner. Whoa! Did he hit him? Think he might have just clipped him as he went by, but it looked like Jelle Belen had worries over the brakes there. Sascha Halleck, no such dramas in the lightweight KTM. Down through this fast flowing final corner section onto the straight for the very last time, and the checkered flag is out. Sascha Halleck wins race one as he perhaps should have done in Zandvoort, his first victory in the championship. Aston Martin, Jörg Wiebahn in second place, and Jelle Belen lucky that the checkered flag came out before the brakes disappeared entirely. So Halleck and Ebner claim victory in the KTM, Wiebahn second in the Aston, Noren and Belen third in the Camaro. Uckermann's AM class KTM leading that in fourth position. Let's hear from our happy winners.
I'm here since a lot of years, and racing here. I started with motorcycle races here at that racetrack, and so it's really wonderful to be on the podium now with Sascha, with the KTM Crossport GT4. It's really perfect. Yeah.
And a great second place for Jörg Wiebahn.
Everybody who watched me this weekend knew that I really had a hard time. Last in first practice or something like that, last in second practice. We really are struggling with the VOP with the car. Hopefully we will get it done. The race helped me, but even in the end you could see that Bella was catching up pretty quick, so I did all I could. That was the best I did too. That's okay for me now.
After the break, we take a closer look at one of the youngsters in the field, Rob Savers, and of course, the second spectacular race from Spielberg.
This program is brought to you by Acres BMW and Mini and Trev Oil Trading. This program is powered by Competition 102 and Trev Oil Trading.
Welcome back to the third round of the GT4 European Series from the Red Bull Ring in the Austrian Alps. Dutch youngster Rob Savers is a racing driver at the weekend, but spends the rest of the week as a student and car salesman.
Rob Savers is one of the youngest drivers in the GT4 European Series. He's taken part in his second season in the championship. Last year he shared a car with Lisette Brahms in the AM class before stepping up to the Pro class this year. It means another step in his rapid ascension up the motorsports ladder.
I started a few years ago in the Dutch Diesel Cup. I started there with Arie Uitermeek, and after that I get the chance to drive there alone. I learned a lot and improved, and I became a Dutch champion in 2012 and 2014, so it was very good.
Despite his rapid progression, Severs has not committed to a career in motorsports yet. When he's away from the track, he spends his precious time on his other great passion.
I'm not a full-time racing driver. I work daily at the BMW dealership of my father. He's got a dealership in Woerden and Alphen aan den Rijn. And next to that I'm doing a study, Master of Business Administration. So that costs a lot of time, but next to that I can do racing, what's my hobby, so I'm really happy with that. We got a family business, so we have to look how it will develop. Yeah, if I get the chance, I will get the dealership and improve it.
This season, Severs has switched to the championship-winning teammate Chris, together with his new teammate Simon Knapp, who will try to shake up the current order in the pro class.
It's a very good team with a lot of good drivers. Simon Knapp, my teammate, and also Ricardo van Ende. I can learn a lot of him, and he helped me very good with my lines and with my braking. Yeah, I can see my lap times are getting better and better and getting closer to them. So my goal is to improve and get better than them.
Ready for race 2 at a hot and sunny Red Bull Ring. Henrik still on pole position in the yellow Sin R1. Alongside him in the green Sin R1, Marcus Sieber in this all-Argentine crewed number 11 car. Duncan Heisman, the Dutchman, lines up third in his BMW, part of an all-BMW Row 2. So ringing the changes here for the second encounter, with the KTMs winning in the Pro and the AM class in race 1. It's up to their opposition to try and stop that happening again here in Austria. Here we go then, lights go green, the Sins spreading out. Yellow car on the inside, Henrik still, Marcus Sieber on the outside. And they manage to stop the BMW and the Camaro coming through. Everybody runs out wide, and this time it's Marcus Sieber who's got his green car in front. Henrik still in second place, third place, 2 BMWs and a Camaro, and they will fan out under braking. Here they come, 3 wide. Down the inside, it looked like the number 1 car. No, couldn't get through. So it's Heisman in the Camaro. He drops down to 4th place. Ricardo van der Ende made it around the outside into 3rd in his BMW. But there sounds like there's a problem. He's slowing. Through goes the Camaro. Through goes the rest of the field. Van der Ende has picked up a problem, and he's straight into the pits at the end of the first lap. And he's been on the radio to say he's got a puncture. That is a disastrous start to race 2 for them. The team will work as fast as they can. Individual wheel nuts like on a normal road car on the GT4s. Not big centre lock wheel nuts, and away they go. Van der Ende have to make sure he doesn't speed in the pit lane. And now what? The red light is on. Well, this is a mistake. Exit of the pit lane should be permanently green once the race has started, and that has cost him even more time. What a nightmare. Marcus Sieber still leads in the green Sin. Right behind is the battle for second place. Henrik still and the Camaro of Duncan Heisman. And still with the Camaro looking left, right and centre to try and get around. Into the pit lane comes Marcus Sieber. And another penalty from the stewards. The race leader is on pit road. He was not running through the grid markings at the start, say the stewards, and they're right, he was not. You have to run through those grid markings to separate the field. That's a harsh penalty. He was halfway over. The rules are the rules, and Marcus Sieber will have it all to do again as the field goes by. Luckily though, the pit lane is open at the exit this time. That means Henrik still now leads the race. Duncan Heisman second in the Camaro. All 4 wheels out very wide, running downhill to the final corner. Really pushing hard to catch that Sin R1. Camaro with big speed down the straight. Doesn't have the aerodynamics and the mechanical grip, it would seem. Further back, here is the Aston Martin of Jörg Wieba and Sascha Halleck up the inside. In the race 1 winning KTM. That was taking candy off a baby, wasn't it? But on the straight, the KTM's 2-litre TFSI motor can't hold a candle to the Aston Martin V8. Oh, and Wieba runs into the back of the KTM. Defensive under braking. It looked as though maybe Sasha Halleck was early on the brakes there. Little bit of contact. It wasn't hard. It's enough to have knocked the bodywork onto the tyre though. Let's take a look here. KTM lightweight compared to the Aston Martin, maybe a little fragile. That might be gouging his tyre. Well, he comes in the pits. There is a puncture on the left rear of the KTM. Not yet time for mandatory driver changes either. Here's Jörg Wiebahn in the Aston Martin. Oh, and that's trouble. There's Duncan Heisman. He's gone straight off. What's happened there? On board, up to the first corner. Oh. Remember we saw the Camaro struggling earlier on, not Luke Brahms, but the Marcel Nuren Yellow Balin car had trouble stopping, and Heisman, it seems, just the same. Leader on pit road. Hendrik Steele comes in. Driver change going on there. Yellow Balin also in the 69 car. He will hand over to Marcel Nuren. They're going to have to be careful with their brakes in the heat here if they want to challenge for a podium as they did in race 1. Problems for Pavel Lefterov though. Lots of smoke or steam coming out of the back of the Lotus, and that does not look good. Temperatures here at Spielberg, tyre wear and overheating always a problem. Battle now, Marcel Nuren battling with Rosen Daskalov, and the yellow Sin R1 came into the pits with the lead, came out with the lead. Nuren around the outside. Can he hold it there? Yes, he can. Camaro has the lead. But now he really will have to nurture those brakes, try and manage those brake temperatures. Fourth place battle. Rob Savers in the BMW, clattered out of race 1. He's in front of Daniel Uckerman. Uckerman, the black KTM, the top AM in race 1. Finished 4th place, almost on the overall podium. Of course, won the race outright in Zandvoort race 2. Looks like he is trying to work his way back up to 4th place. Looking outside the BMW. Meanwhile, KTM versus Sin in front for 2nd as Uckerman makes the pass at the hairpin. Through he goes. Battle for 3rd place now. Rosen Daskalov in the yellow Sin. Down the inside, Daniel Uckerman. Daskalov offline. Rob Savers in the BMW takes advantage. He goes through too as well into the final turn. So poor Daskalov mugged there, lost 2 spots. On board with Rob Savers. Great view of that. You could hear the tyres protesting, but that was nice and clean. Closing stages, Daskalov losing another spot. Through into 4th goes the Aston Martin of Jörg Wiebahn. And he has to hug the inside line as the Sin tucks up behind. Looking back down the inside into turn 1. He goes through, gets in deep, gets by. Meanwhile, Marcel Nuren heading towards the checkered flag and weaves across the line as V8 Racing take victory. Yellow Balin, Marcel Nuren winning in Austria, but trouble at the final corner, a huge crash. Jörg Wiebahn and Rosen Daskalov in sight of the checkered flag, tangle and slam into the barriers, and both cars are destroyed. Safety car comes out from the pit road. Let's have a look here. Down the inside comes Jörg Wiebahn. All okay here, but inevitably their 2 paths are just going to cross, and the Aston just turned around the nose of the Sin R1. Look how quickly Wiebahn's on the brakes. He knows the danger here. The runoff area runs out, and that is a massive impact with the wall for both cars. That is like a plane crash. And it doesn't make any better viewing a 3rd time from the initial angle. That is just massive. Well, let's take a look once more with Jörg Wiebahn inside. Watch his hands, still turning right. And there's the moment of contact, and there's the wall. He had maybe a second to try and react. You see what it's done? It's almost written off the camera as well as the car. Astonishingly, such is the strength of modern racing cars that both drivers were out under their own steam, taken to hospital overnight. They were released without serious injuries and in fact allowed to go home the same evening. It's just quite remarkable testimony to the strength of modern racing cars and why safety equipment is so vital. Jörg Wiebahn looking very dazed, but no broken bones for either drivers, just stunned. And in fact, there is Jörg Wiebahn looking pretty much okay as he's been led away by the medical crews. Well, in all of that drama, Marcel Nur and Jelle Belen winning from Daniel Uckermann, Simon Knapp and Rob Savers claiming the final podium spot, and Wiebahn and Daskalov awarded 4th and 5th despite that crash at the line. Slightly muted celebrations though for Jelle Belen and Marcel Nuren despite their win here in Austria.
For me it was quite easy race, and I came out of the pits and the yellow Sin had I think 5-6 seconds in front of me. It was 2-3 rounds and overtook him, and it was easy race for me.
Well, made it look easy. Marcel Nur and Jelle Belen not only victorious here in race 2, they're now the championship leaders from Jörg Wiebahn, Luke Brahms, Duncan Heisman lying in 3rd, Daniel Uckermann running away now at the front of the AM class. Jörg Wiebahn's car towed away, or what remains of it. It is only metal in the end, and the contents were okay, but making it to the next race might be a tough ask for the Aston Martin crew. But Jelle Belen and Marcel Nuren will take the points lead to rounds 7 and 8. Luckily, everybody walked away intact from the Austrian track. The next time out, we're also at another legendary motorsport venue, the awe-inspiring Spa-Francorchamps in the Belgian Ardennes. For more information, be sure to check out the website GT4series.com. Until the next time, thank you for watching and goodbye.
GT4 European Series supports Project Mine.